Now we have a bonus session with Marilyn Gordon, who's a professional hypnotherapist and combines EFT with hypnotherapy with impressive results. She works with Marty, who agrees to do a session with her, uses rapid induction, and combines the two procedures masterfully. I thought you'd like to see it.
So hi, I'm Marilyn Gordon, and I want to just talk to you a little bit about the session that I had with Marty the other night, or we had together. And we worked on her nail biting, as you heard Marty tell about before. Worked on her nail biting. What I did was I asked the subconscious mind to go to whatever she needs to pay attention to regarding that experience. So that's the way I phrase it to the subconscious mind. Let's ask your deep inner mind what it needs to pay attention to today. So we did that, and she went into a space that she's going to talk about to you very briefly, and then I'll demonstrate. There's one thread that we didn't complete. So we're going to complete that thread today as briefly as possible. But Marty will just catch you up on where we've been before.
I went pretty quickly to some incidents that I felt had a sense that were related from other attempts to work on this and other related issues. Particularly not being able to take walks alone or ride my bike alone. And I'm not a fearful person, so I hadn't understood why that was and felt like it was connected to something. Can you hear okay? So a number of different images came up with some feelings, but what I think was at the crux of it and why I couldn't get past the nail biting was what I so typically find as a therapist is that there's a life threat situation at the bottom of what we deal with. And so I had this sensation, and I think it was probably sexual abuse, but there weren't still any clear memories of a weight on my chest and not being able, essentially not being able to breathe. And I, during the session, couldn't breathe. And then the sense of not having any protection, no one who could protect me, and my needs weren't important. And Marilyn did a wonderful job of acknowledging the anguish was the term that she used and fit directly, and the fear.
So what we did is helped her to feel a sense of being protected. And that's why she doesn't need to bite her nails, because she feels a sense of protection that comes from within herself. And that's the whole crux of it.
And the image I got at the end I just want to share with you is of basking in golden light, which is my sense of God and love in the universe. And all these people standing behind me were like sort of on the stage and surrounded by all these wonderful people, and I didn't know necessarily who they were, but there were all these people that could be available to me, and we were all basking in love. So it's really beautiful.
Great. So would you hold this? And you need to hold it by her, okay? Great. So what I'm going to demonstrate first is a rapid induction, and I tell clients that I'm going to do some touch hypnosis. I'm going to touch them here and here and here, touch their hands. I may snap my fingers. I might drop their arm down. I tell them this so that I get their permission, first of all. So I already have Marty's permission. It's okay to do it again. And it's okay if I tap on you while we're in hypnosis. Great. Okay. So why don't you give me your hand. And then I also tell her that some people go very, very deeply. Some people go very lightly. Most people are in the middle where you still have awareness, you still have control, and yet you get nice and relaxed. So take a look at my hand. Take a deep breath in and sleep. And just drift down and relax. I'm going to press on your shoulders and sleep. Touching your forehead again and relax. Just drifting very deeply down. I'm going to take your arm, let it be nice and loose and limp. Very loose and limp. And as your arm goes around and around, you'll go deeper and deeper down. 5, 4, 3, 2, sleep. Drifting deeper down, down, down. And I'm going to count from 25 down, and as I do, Marty, you'll be able to go very, very deeply. And when I get to 1, if you like, we'll follow that thread of that little girl on her bicycle. You can take her where it needs to go. Okay? Good. Do you feel that energy coming in? Good. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just relax. So do you feel ready to begin now? Good. I'll touch your forehead. You go deeper and relax. Let your head completely relax. Deeper down, down, deeper down. Very, very relaxed and peaceful. Very, very relaxed. So what we want to do today is to pay attention to whatever your deep inner mind wants to pay attention to that has to do with that incident, that little girl riding her bike. So I'm going to count from 3 to 1. When I get to 1, I'll snap my fingers, touch your shoulder, and you'll be able to either see it or feel it or hear it or just know it's there. So getting ready now. 3, 2, 1. And whenever you're ready, you can tell me what you're experiencing.
The same sense of fear that I felt the other night. It's not strong. As if I'm near the school and I'm standing with my bike, looking around as if there's danger, but I don't know where.
Tell me some more about that fear.
I can feel it in my heart.
What does it feel like?
It's growing.
Tell me about it.
And having more trouble breathing.
Okay.
It's just in the center of my chest.
Can you tell me anything else about that fear?
No, it's lessening a little.
Good. Let that little girl look around and see if there's anything there.
It's strange. It's so open and yet there's a sense of danger.
Okay. So go even more deeply now.
Because I'm on my bike.
Not because you're on your bike.
Because I'm on my bike, there's danger.
So I'm going to ask your deep mind to tell you anything that it wants to tell you about that. And I'm just going to touch your shoulder and it'll tell you anything it wants to tell you about that. You notice I'm not tapping yet. I could tap the fear away, but what I'm doing is I'm wanting to find out more about it first. I want to get as much information as I can, and then we'll do some releasing.
It's not the bike. It's because I'm out away from my home alone, which connects to that other image that was there the other night before, where I was walking on a tree-lined street. Alone.
So it's away from safety.
Being alone.
Okay. So this fear, this fear, this fear, this fear, this fear. How's it feel?
Less.
Good.
Yes, and the words were away from my family.
Yes.
It's not safe.
Right. Okay, so how does that feel now in your body?
Relaxed, like just a kernel of fear in my heart.
Away from my family. Away from my family. I'm going to do an experiment. I'll try tapping on chakras. Away from my family. Away from my family. Away from my family. Away from my family. How does that feel?
Not much change.
Okay.
headache at the top of my head.
Tell me what that's like.
It's real localized.
Did it just come?
Yeah, although it's the kind of headache I've had for a number of years related to some chemical poisoning.
Does it have a color to it?
Earlier. Blue.
Does it have a shape to it?
Round.
Where is it right now?
Top of my head.
How much does it weigh?
Half a pound.
If it could speak, what would it say to you?
Help me.
Okay, help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. And what's coming up now?
There's never been anyone to help me.
Yes. Okay, so just let yourself experience that. There's never been anyone to help me. 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 Never been anyone. Never been anyone to help me. How does that feel now?
Less tense, but
good.
Pains, you know.
Yes. Okay.
Hurt.
Yes. Right. Hurting. Hurting. Never been anyone to help me. It hurts. Hurts. It hurts. Never been anyone to help me. It's hurting me.
But everyone else's needs were more important.
Everybody's more important than I am.
Everybody's
more important. Their needs are more important than mine. And how does it feel right now?
Comforting.
Good. So let me ask you something. What does that child need?
To know that my needs are just as important as others and that I don't always have to take care of it myself.
How can she know that?
Because I know that.
Yeah. Great. Would you like to hold her?
Sure.
Okay. She is. Just hold her real close. Great. You can tell her whatever you want to tell her. And let her know she's safe. Safe. She's safe. She's safe. 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 Completely safe. You have her now. You have her now. And even though you didn't have her before, people didn't pay attention to her before, you have her now. And just bring her into your heart. And let that love protect her. Is there anything you'd like to say to her?
It doesn't feel like it's to her, it's more the integration.
Great.
But I feel like what I need to say is that that's why I'm a therapist.
Yes.
But I need to take care of me too.
Yes. And the life lesson of this experience gave you the depth to be the therapist. Is that what you're saying? How's your head doing?
Way better.
Great. Okay, well, I'm going to suggest a few things to your deep inner mind. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to suggest to you that your head's going to be just fine. Just fine. It's okay. Because you're safe now. You're totally safe now. You and all the parts of you that are integrated with you now are in a state of love and safety and peace and great joy. Now, is there any specific word that can remind you of this safety?
I'm not getting a word, but really strong. I can take care of me.
Good. Do you like that phrase? Okay, so
that's right.
I'm going to suggest you put your thumb and your index finger together. And whenever you do that, and you say, I can take care of me, that it'll create a great strength that's moving throughout your entire being, that's with you always. Your head is just fine. Your entire body is fine. You're safe, and you can take care of yourself. You can. You do take care of yourself very, very beautifully. Yes, you do. And you're a part of the universe. very powerful part of the universe. And you're made of love, you're made of strength, you're made of wisdom, and all good. And everything's okay. And all is healing, and all is healed. Yeah. Tap, tap, tap.
That's just validation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And God bless you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've always been glad that hypnotherapists could hug and kiss their clients. I'm eternally grateful for it. Thank you, God.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. You want to ask any questions? Any questions you have of either one of us? Yes.
That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, as a hypnotherapist, why you didn't formally bring her out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't, did I? That's a very good question. Okay, I'm going to count from 1 to 5.
Because she didn't need to.
Another thing that I do, and I've been doing for the last, say, 6 months, is after we finish, I make a 10-minute tape for clients that includes affirmations about what we've done, a kind of rundown about what we've done. I can channel it, let it come through me, what to say. That's a synopsis of what we've been through and where we are now. So they can take it home and listen to it every day and keep the affirmation coming. And it has music. I usually work with music, and I have chimes, and the session, my sessions usually last about an hour and a half, because I talk with people at the beginning, and we talk about a lot of different things, and I teach them EFT at the beginning also, and do EFT with them even before we go into hypnosis. So we already have worked through things. We go into hypnosis and work through more.
But I think it was her intuition that she didn't need to.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed it.
Yeah. But thank you for reminding me, because that's important to let people know. I do say we're going to count from 1 to 5, and when I get to 5, I'll snap my fingers. You'll be able to come back, and I give some affirmations about you come back feeling grounded and centered and loving and free.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also want to say thank you, because that was very beautiful. And I wanted to ask if the tapping felt different being in a trance, and if you could say how that was for you.
I can kill this.
It's in there. I don't need it. Oh, okay. You want me to do that, Jennifer?
Sure. Okay.
It felt like an integral part. It didn't feel separate. It felt very natural. And perhaps because of the fast induction and the touch, there. But it just seemed to flow.
I also do Reiki, so I was touching her here, and I was doing Reiki on her heart center, and just working a lot with her energy system.
Which I felt was strongly effective.
Good.
I was wondering if you noticed anything different between the regular tapping points and the chakra points.
Marty or me?
Marty.
I think I felt more release with the tapping than the chakra. I don't know if that was evident, but it felt as if there was
good.
more.
More of an experiment on that.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. Yeah.
But it still feels like that was an important part.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
No. Yeah.
Tell me how you experienced the rapid induction part of the work.
Well, Marilyn did this the other night, and I was surprised at it. It looks very abrupt, but it didn't feel invasive or anything in any way. Touch is important to me too.
Yeah.
So it just felt very natural today.
The whole idea of the rapid induction is to create a kind of shock. I try to mitigate it, to make it, as gentle as possible. But in that moment of shock, the mind is not thinking, and we can reach right in with the relaxation. So I get her with the rapid induction out of a state of a mental state. She can go into a subconscious or the reptilian brain.
And actually, way before you were ready for me to focus on the piece of memory that I had, I was already there. I mean, it was really very, very rapid that my focus went there, and I was heightened.
But you notice I also did deepening. So the rapid induction isn't all that we did, but the counting really deepens it. And then I ask, sometimes I ask on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, how deeply relaxed you feel, or I just ask, are you ready to begin? If they hesitate, then I did something. If you notice, I re-induced, just to help her to go a little more deeply.
That was interesting. That I don't know if any of you noticed that I took my feet off the chair, but I was
Yes.
all of a sudden incredibly aware of how restricted I felt, where I was at the bottoms of my feet, that they needed to be
Hanging loose. That's like a kid, too.
Yeah.
And that's what in hypnosis we call abreaction, when you go to the experience of being the person. I don't know exactly how you define it in psychology. In hypnosis, abreaction means you become, not just watch the experience.
Right.
Yeah, same. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
To give you a better sense of how Marilyn combines EFT with hypnotherapy, here's a couple of testimonials. First of all, you'll see Marty, who's talking in the audience about a previous session that Marilyn had with Marty, and also one with Leslie, who had a session as well. Thought you'd like to see them just for further rounding out of your understanding of this.
Marilyn did a hypnotherapy session with me Thursday night with biting my fingernails and cuticles, and I've tried virtually everything with this and have not had any desire to do that since.
Oh, fascinating.
And
Okay.
in fact, a real desire to take care of my hands and instead. So
Marvelous.
I really recommend people staying and watching her method.
Sure. All right, great.
I had a session with Marilyn last night, and you may be glad to know that little girl got a lot of attention, and the sorrow. Marilyn tapped with me about the sorrow and shame, and gave me some really good suggestions. And I feel really good today. I feel clear. I have less self-critical messages in my head, and
Good.
I feel optimistic. It was great.